Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Going to go back to StarCraft 2 while I'm banned from the Joe's Minecraft server. Make my way back there eventually. 9 o'clock position we have Machine as the red Zerg. 6 o'clock location we have Antimage as the pink Protoss. And there is a little bit of frame rate issue just because of this patch, but on the new graphics card, and it is greatly condensed, or it's less. It's not as bad. Condensed isn't the right word. It looks like, oh, that's what she said. I love Machine. That's all I can say. He's an awesome guy. Actually, out of all the commentating I've done, the one thing I think that just makes me the happiest about commentating at large is meeting the EG guys and actually getting to be friends and getting to know them at large. And I love the way Machine scouts early, particularly on maps like Lost Temple. He actually doesn't send the Overlord to the close position because, let's see if Antimage does it in a second, because you always have that probe pull, so you, especially at this level of player, so you almost always give away your position, and more or less sending your Overlord to the north location, it forces your opponent to scout more or less. Now that probe has to go the long way around, at least check the Zelnaga Watchtower, and the second Overlord's still going to be getting in position and seeing a lot of things. Anyway, before I get too much into this game, Ben King from Canada, last second donation, as well as Vitor Bosshard. Special thanks to him. How awesome is that last name? I think that's his last name, Bosshard. I might be mispronouncing that. But yeah, don't need any more donations, guys. You can stop. And I don't usually give corporate recommendations and I think this is going to be my official first one. Looks like we are seeing a front door setup. Protoss have gotten better and better actually at this sort of front door kind of fast expand style of play. They've really figured out how to cope against that sort of Baneling bust. Looks like Machine actually going for a fast expand himself. Something he really likes doing on Lost Temple, particularly when he gets lucky off these scouting patterns. So it looks like he is, in fact, this probe going to wander out to his base. It looks like he's sending a probe to the 3 o'clock location. Anyway, before I get too carried away, once again, yeah, don't need any more donations. Buy.com got me my graphics card like the next day. It was incredibly fast, so... and they accepted PayPal. It was awesome all around. I also wanted to give a shout out. If you go to Pro Gaming Evolution on YouTube, I've got an interview up there, and I think there's going to be more interviews from other people to come. Forge now being planted to provide some of that cannon, some of that extra defense, but Machine sees everything he really wants to see here on the front door, so you're going to sit there and harass it. And also, Wes, I hope you feel better. Wishing you a rapid recovery. I think that's everybody. Vitor, Ben King, Pro Gaming Evolution, Wes, and a shout out to Machine and all the EG guys. They're just awesome. That's all I can say. Looks like he's going to follow that up with a spawning pool, but he really doesn't have to worry about any sort of early pressure, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just runs and takes a quick third just to play sort of an abusive and aggressive, more or less macro game, because usually I think there's two reactions to Zerg seeing a fast expansion like this, and the first is to go Baneling and to try to hide Banelings and to go speed Zergling to follow, and it looks like some Zealot pressure on the front door after seeing that fast expansion, but Machine going to be well prepared for this. He's already got several Zerglings coming on the way, but a blockade by Antimage. That is very clever to try to block off reinforcements. It looks, I'm not sure that's a full seal though, so in that probe trying to block that front door, so the probe very quickly taken care of. Looks like that pylon also canceled, but that Zealot does manage to get a kill, and it does manage to disrupt some economy on that back edge, but Antimage is going to end up losing a Zealot. He is going to end up losing a probe, and now he's not really going to have the scouting information he really needs. Also, very late on this cannon warp in. Let's see if Machine decides to test the front door after seeing what's happening here. Antimage just bringing a single pylon, a single probe to try to defend this. He does get the gateway down in time to create the perfect seal and block himself in. He might want to try to rally the Zealots on the outside, but even this is kind of dangerous territory because with speed upgraded Zerglings you can actually do a lot of damage back and forth, but fortunately for him, Machine still hasn't taken gas, and it looks like he is in fact going to take that gold expansion early, and this is definitely Machine style play, more macro oriented, and like I was saying, what you'll see kind of players react, either one, they'll go Baneling, or two, they'll just go a lot of expansion, and this is Machine style. He likes going for the brutal expansion, going for more of the big macro economy sort of style of play, and so that Zealot not doing a lot of economic damage. The Zealots are really Machine's major concern now, is he needs to keep enough Zerglings out in the field and keep them mobile enough where he more or less takes these Zealots out and kind of denies information, so essentially Antimage doesn't know what's coming at him one direction or the other, and it looks like he's continuing with his tech. Also has that cybernetics core going, is chrono boosting some Zealots, so actually wants to run in, realizes he might be just a slightly behind Machine economically. Machine is producing some additional Zerglings just in time. Beautiful beautiful timing to cope with these Zealots, and that is, again, just because of the information out in the field, and he's going to crash down on them rather quickly. Unfortunately for Machine, because he's peeking up and seeing these Zerglings even in this location, he's not seeing the rocks that have been destroyed, but just seeing them in that location, he's going to know, okay, Machine's thinking about more of the economic sort of style. Let's see if Machine decides to switch it up as a result, killing one Zealot. Actually, pretty good micro from Antimage, bringing up more Zealots, but Machine is gonna... Oh, no, never mind. 4 health left, still 2 Zealots alive, and more Zealots coming. So Antimage actually transitioning just a ton of chrono boost, actually, and no weapons upgrade on his forge off 2 bases. And let's see if he actually... yeah, he's putting down 2 additional gateways. He could actually probably go up a couple more with just this pure Zealot harass. Machine putting down another hatchery at his natural expansion, just to provide a little bit of blockade. First of all, maybe just get a couple more larvae out. Actually, I'm not sure what the logic is of this. I haven't seen this before. Because, you know, you can have queens. You'd think build another queen, but maybe just to create a little bit more of a blockade, and again to provide a little bit more defense against the constant Zealot pressure, and I guess to have just a second hatchery in case it is taken out. And I'll think about it a little bit more, but honestly this maneuver confuses me a little bit. He is going to get Zergling speed. I wouldn't be surprised actually with what Machine's doing, and let's see if he gets a queen down to this location. If he's just going to go all in Zergling to follow this up, he is getting an evolution chamber, and he's going to layer tech, but and he actually, never mind, he's continuing to mine gas, but he's really kind of posturing as though, okay, hey, I'm just going to build a huge amount of Zerglings to try to cope with this. Now Antimage getting that weapons 1 upgrade. It also has a stalker out in the field, has planted additional gas, not mining out of that assimilator though, but it does look like he is going to start pushing that tech, even though he's got the 4 gate. Well, actually, never mind. There's the 5 gateways out in the field. The Zergling is going to continue to test that front door and just crash down. He's done a fantastic job of map control at this stage. Again, just denying any sort of information that are going that's gone forward. Might even see a drop here in that back corner and waiting for engagement. Thought I might have missed it. Looks like a sentry, a couple Zealots, things getting warped down to that lower location, but Machine is getting an eyeful of all of that because of that Zelnaga watchtower. It's just right in view, so it looks like Antimage isn't fooling anyone. And starting to now press forward. Looks like he's got kind of a sideways rally point, and he's at risk of getting pincered in at this stage. Machine now shelling up, feeling very confident in his position, is producing a ton of Zerglings. Wow, a ton of Zerglings on his front door, and following up with a Spire. So it is going to be all Zergling, all Mutalisk, it looks like. Kind of an interesting unit composition, and pulling his Zerglings back to try to invite these units in and maybe even hide it and try to get that pincer attack in. And oh, this is